China is officially deploying combat humanoid robots to the border. Yeah, it's actually happening. It looks like the era of robots replacing soldiers in war has officially begun. But that's not all. OpenAI just dropped a feature that could end traditional e-commerce, and Anthropic's new model is leaving Gemini in the dust. We've got a ton of other massive tech updates today, so make sure you watch till the end to catch it all. So, let's start with a major update from Anthropic. They have officially released Opus 4.5 and it is absolutely crushing the benchmarks. It's currently scoring around 80% on the SWE, Software Engineering Benchmark. They've also introduced a significant memory upgrade. We all know that large language models, LLMs, have a context limit. There's a ceiling on how much code you can feed them at once. Well, Anthropic has engineered a system that utilizes memory so efficiently that even with a smaller context window, you're getting the performance benefits of a much larger one. If you look at the raw data, Opus 4.5 is pulling far ahead of Sonnet 4.5. Interestingly, Gemini 3 Pro is lagging behind in these specific metrics. However, in real-world usage, the gap is tight, often just a 3 to 4% difference. I've been testing all of them extensively. I spent about 5 to 7 hours coding inside Windsurf using Opus 4.5, burning through roughly 300 credits, and honestly, it's impressive. The user interface is fantastic, but it's the backend architecture that shines. While Gemini 3 Pro has a beautiful UI, arguably more enjoyable to use, I found its backend logic wasn't quite as sharp for complex tasks during my testing. My recommendation? Use Gemini 3 Pro to build your front-end UI, but rely on Opus 4.5 to architect your backend. Combine them, and you're unstoppable. This solves a massive problem for non-technical founders. Even if you don't know the ABCs of coding, you can now build a product using vibe coding. You might hit a few snags, sure, but you can hire a freelancer just to fix the bugs while the AI does the heavy lifting. Platforms like Google's AI Studio are free and working brilliantly, though if you hit the rate limits, just swap to a secondary email and keep building. Next up, Black Forest Labs has dropped Flux 2, an open-weight model that looks ready to go toe-to-toe with the new Gemini 2 Pro. Honestly, when you talk about price-to-performance ratio, this model is a game changer. The results are stunning. We are finally seeing true image consistency. You can rotate subjects, maintain character identity across shots, and even blend up to 10 different reference images into a single cohesive output. That is a massive leap forward. The best part? It's open source. You can download this 32 billion parameter model from Hugging Face and run it locally. However, a heads up for Mac users. Early reviews suggest it's struggling on Apple Silicon, taking hours to generate a single image. It's currently much better optimized for Nvidia hardware. Looking at the quality charts, Flux 2 Pro is right up there. It's significantly better and cheaper than older competitors. Some rival models are charging 7 to 8 times more for similar quality, which is a deal breaker for commercial scaling. If I just need a YouTube thumbnail, I'll pay for a pro service. But if I'm building a scalable e-commerce product in the backend, I'm using Flux. The days of expensive product photography are effectively over. You can just generate assets and scale. It's genuinely scary how fast this is moving. OpenAI should be worried. Open source models are cracking face consistency while the world leaders are still gatekeeping their best tech. Now, shifting gears to hardware and geopolitics, some startling news out of China. They have unveiled a new humanoid robot that is explicitly designed for combat. In the demo footage, you can clearly see this small-scale humanoid executing fighting maneuvers and taking physical action. It doesn't stop at prototypes. China is planning to deploy these units to the borders. Specifically, regarding the China-Taiwan border, reports suggest deployments could start as early as December 2025. A 1.1 billion yuan deal has already been signed with UBTech. The roadmap is aggressive. They are targeting 500 industrial humanoid robots deployed by the end of this year, ramping up to 5,000 by 2026, and hitting 10,000 units by 2027. The next few years are going to be defined by this convergence of military and technology. Speaking of robots, Google isn't sitting this one out. They are developing their own robotics software and have made a strategic hire, bringing on the former CTO of Boston Dynamics as their VP of Hardware Engineering. The vision? To create an android for robots. Imagine a future, maybe just 5 or 6 years away, where you have a robotic companion. It walks with you, handles your chores, and cooks your meals. Let's say I'm working late. I tell my assistant, I'm hungry. My smartwatch, which has a built-in glucometer, detects my blood sugar is dropping. It communicates with the home robot to start cooking a specific meal. Once it's ready, a delivery drone or bot brings it straight to my office desk just as I finish filming. This isn't science fiction anymore. The hardware and software are converging to make this a reality. If this tech matures in the next few years, OpenAI is making moves to redefine how we shop online. They've released a new shopping research feature that feels like the future of e-commerce. Instead of browsing endless catalogs, you just type, "I need a TV for a bright room." The AI researches, asks you clarifying questions about your budget and usage, and then presents tailored options. You can tell it what you like or dislike, and it refines the results instantly. This is the experience Amazon should have delivered years ago. Startups are already using AI recommendation engines, like recognizing a user is expecting a baby and adjusting product suggestions automatically, but the big players need to catch up. OpenAI claims this new product accuracy beats GPT-5's thinking models. They also teased a model codenamed Shallow Peat, named after the shallow soil used to grow shallots, small onions. It implies a training method involving layers. similar to an onion. It's fascinating to see how fast these models are iterating. It's not a slow climb anymore, it's quantum leaps every few months. Meta has released a text to 3D model called WorldGen. You type a prompt, and it generates a 3D environment. This is potentially dangerous for traditional game developers, but incredible for vibe gaming. We are moving toward a world where, if you have enough compute power, the game builds itself in real time around you. Imagine playing a game where the storyline changes based on real world news or your live voice inputs. If we move toward a personal compute infrastructure where we pay for cloud compute like we pay for electricity, this could be the standard for entertainment. Alibaba's new tool, LingWang, is going viral, reaching 1 million users in just 4 days faster growth than Sora. It's a vibe coding app that lets you build software entirely through your phone. It's currently free, though the servers are struggling with the load. This reinforces my belief that the future is voice first. We won't need complex apps, we will just talk to APIs. Update my calendar, build this feature, analyze this data. It's all going to happen natively on your phone, possibly integrated into the OS itself. Rumors are swirling that Google is working on Aluminum OS, an AI-first operating system intended to replace or merge Chrome OS with Android capabilities on PC. They want a unified ecosystem like Apple's laptop, tablet, phone, all running seamlessly. Since tablets and phones are practically the same hardware-wise, this makes sense. The key differentiator is that Aluminum OS is built from the ground up with AI at its core. Google is also pushing new TPU upgrades and lightweight LLMs designed to run locally on your phone, specifically for the Pixel and Galaxy series. We are getting closer to having a full personal assistant running offline in your pocket. Xiaomi has open-sourced MIMO Embedded, a vision model designed for autonomous driving and robotics. It's not really for consumers, but for car manufacturers to help vehicles understand their environment and predict what's coming next. On the scientific front, there was a fascinating benchmark regarding complex physics tasks. Gemini 3, GPT-5, and others competed. None could crack 10% accuracy, though Gemini 3 Pro led with 9.1%. This clarifies a major limitation. AI is great at following standard operating procedures, SOPs, and known knowledge, but it cannot yet generate novel scientific ideas or discoveries. It can execute, but it cannot yet invent. Finally, a critical public service announcement for everyone with a computer. New research confirms that SSDs lose data over time if they aren't powered on. I used to think SSDs were safer than mechanical hard drives, but because they run on NAND flash, they need electrical current to maintain data integrity. If you have a budget SSD QLC, you need to plug it in at least once a year. If you have a high-end one, maybe every 3 years. But honestly, don't risk it. Power up your external drives every few months to refresh the cells. Do not treat SSDs like permanent cold storage. Lastly, a quick tip for creatives. Adobe has released a web version of Photoshop that is currently free for 1 year. You just need to install the Photoshop Chrome extension. This feels like a direct response to Canva, who recently acquired Affinity and ramped up their free tier. Adobe is clearly feeling the pressure and is trying to hook users back in. You have until December 8th to claim this, so even if you don't need it right now, go grab it while you can. That wraps up today's tech news. If you found this update valuable, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the industry. Catch you in the next one.